Well, how's it going, folks? I am standing here in the shop doing something a little bit different. Not fishing today. Going to answer some of your questions about one of the most important things you're going to put in your boat. Take along shore fishing, whatever you're going to do. And that's fishing rods, and in particular, razor rods. So stay tuned. Hopefully this information helps you guys, and hope you enjoyed this video. Appreciate you tuning in to watch. And until next time on the water, tight lines. Well, how's it going, folks? I am sitting here in the shop this evening, doing something a little bit different, addressing, a lot of questions that have been kind of hanging out there for a couple months that I've addressed all of them directly through messaging and emails, but kind of wanted to go over everything in a video format in a nice controlled, non-windy, no Potter environment. Just kidding, Potter. One of the most important tools, and we talk about it in every video we've done now, is a good fishing rod. That is numero uno, by far, one of the most important things you can invest your money on as an angler, fisherman, fisherwoman. I can't emphasize it enough. I'm basically going to run through a few of my favorite rods. Razor rods obviously is my rod of choice, has been for years. I've been on their pro staff now for, oh boy, I'm not even sure how many years it's been now that I'm putting myself on the spot. But just an awesome company to be a part of. 100% of these rods are made right here in the USA. No China blanks, no Mexico blanks. And, I'm just proud to have that stuff in my boat. The quality, bar none. I mean, it is just, the rods speak for themselves, as a lot of my clients have found out over the years. And there isn't a whole lot of selling of the rod that you really have to do when you put it in a client's hands, and especially with all of the casting and various things that we do now where things really come down to feel. Having a good rod with great feel is super important, whether it's pan fishing or casting shivers or blades or hair. You can just go right down the list. So I'm just going to run through, my favorite rods. I mean, they're all favorites. They all work fantastic. But I'm just going to run through them quickly to address, everybody. One of the questions is, how do you know when to choose what rod? Well, so, we have the classic line, the edge line, which is being replaced by our extreme line. Same rod blank, just a different name. Our platinum line, and then our MAXX line of rods. And then we also have an inshore series and a saltwater line. Well, obviously I don't use those, but they look like fantastic rods as well. I do know some guys that use them and absolutely love them. So if you are a saltwater person, we have a whole line of rods for you for saltwater as well. But I'm going to go into the rods. The first one I'm going to talk about, it's just my baby. This 7-foot medium action platinum spinning rod. Potter too, I know he's talked about it a ton as well. It is just a great all-around rod. You can vertical jig with it. You can cast shiver minnows with it. As far as the lighter jigs, I like something a little bit softer, but other than that, this platinum, I don't know how many fish this rod itself has caught over the last, I think I've had this rod either 4 or 5 seasons now. It has just caught a ton of fish. And we put it up against, some of the most epic battles of flatheads and sturgeon and everything else you catch in the rivers, or like that sturgeon I hooked with when I was fishing with Cade in the one video on a shiver minnow in the middle of Green Bay. Just an epic battle. So 7-foot medium action platinum spinning series. One thing I'm going to touch on really quickly is when you go out and get yourself a good rod pair it up with a good reel. This DIAWA TETULA is just fantastic. It has been flawless. This rod reel combo is so light. I mean, I'm fishing every day basically, and a lot of these trips are casting trips now. So having something that's light, where it's not taking a toll on your wrist, especially when you're doing the snap jigging thing, it just makes such a world of difference in the boat. 7 foot, and I'm gonna put links in for all of these different rods in the description. I'm gonna throw my discount code in there so you can go on the Razor Rods website and use my discount code. I know I've thrown that out a couple times. I know a lot of you have purchased the rods. I appreciate the support. I do have an inventory here as well on my person at my house. It's not a large inventory, but I do have an inventory for sale here if you want to see a rod in person. Plus, obviously, I have the rods that I use for my charter business as well. So you're more than welcome to call me, message me, email me. Mike Mueller on the bass side of things. He's kind of our bass guru. Him and Jeff. Same with Bryant. The owner, they're definitely more bass guys, so they're a little bit more familiar with the bass rods and what rods work the best. I know it's funny because Mike Mueller's one of his favorite rods is the 7 foot platinum medium bait caster. So coincidence? We'll see. Anyway, next rod I want to talk about, which is another great rod. And one other thing too, when you go out and get yourself nice rods, get yourself some rod sleeves. Protect your eyelets, protect your line from getting nicked. Just makes storing the rod so much easier as well. This is the 7 foot medium classic. That's got the SCHEELS 1 reel on, which I know a ton of you have purchased. I think for the money, it's honestly, if not the best reel on the market, one of the best reels on the market. The SCHEELS Outfitter 1 reel, it's made by DIAWA. Just the fact I just got done putting line on a friend of mine, he just purchased one as well. But I know a bunch of you have messaged me about that reel. If you're looking for a great reel to accessorize on any of these Razor rods, that would be another one I would highly recommend. That's got a little nicer price point than the TETULA. There is a little more weight there, but both complement the rods very nicely. But getting back to the rod, another go-to, a lot of my clients use this rod as well, love this rod, have bought this rod, the 7 foot classic medium action rod. A great rod, very similar to the Platinum. You just, how the graphite is woven and the grade of graphite is just higher. It's a higher quality graphite in the Platinum, so there's definitely more feel in the Platinum. Then that's what you pay for when you go to the Platinum. All of our guides are premium guides. The braid that we all use today doesn't cut into any of your guides. We don't have any issues like that. Lifetime warranty on the rods. The Platinum and the MAXX, the Classic and the Edge are 5-year warranties. But yeah, another great rod. So I know a ton of people that have it. I know my clients love using this rod as well. 7 foot classic medium. These are all spinning reels, by the way. Probably my favorite vertical jigging rod is the 6.6 medium action Edge, which will be replaced by the Extreme, but you can still get the Edge. Just has a little bit softer tip on it. A little bit faster, more of a faster action tip on this 6.6, and I like it for, I've got super long arms, and we're going to talk about this when I get to the fly pulling rod as well. I have super long arms, and there's nothing worse than when you're sitting there vertical jigging is if you have to hoist your arms up to keep your rod tip out of the water. Just something to think about, because you want to be as comfortable as possible. I know vertical jigging, it seems like it's kind of becoming a thing of the past, but we still do a lot of it. It's still very effective. And I really love this 6.6 medium action Edge series rod. I got that combined with the SCHEELS Outfitter DIAWA Tournament Series reel, which is another fantastic reel. But yeah, I can't say enough good. That's definitely my light jig, and when I talk light, I'm talking 1/8 of an ounce jig. or vertical jigging rod. That's kind of my choice. So that's the 6.6 medium edge in a spinning series. Next rod I'm going to talk about, which is another spinning series reel. You guys know how much I love chasing panfish. I got a lot of favorites when it comes to panfish rods. This one was a little more of a tougher decision for me. I love the 6.6 medium light classic or edge. It's a little more versatile as far as you're able to cast bobbers with it. I don't do a lot of bobber fishing. Almost all of my perch fishing, well, all of my perch fishing is basically dead sticking or drop shotting. And this I've just fallen in love with this rod. I know a lot of my clients have over the last few years as well. This is the 6-foot ultralight classic. It's kind of weird. It's got a nice, soft, flexible bend on it, which is great, especially for detecting those perch and bluegill bites, because you get bluegills mixed in as well. You know, the backbone's probably back between the 4th and 5th eyelet, which is nice because sheephead. And of course you get the occasional walleye, and sometimes you get a lot of walleyes when you're dead sticking, as you probably saw in some of the videos. You know, of course, a Wonder Bread jig on there. But that's probably one of my favorite dead sticking rods, is the 6-foot ultralight classic. Love the rod. We make a variety, and I have a variety of the panfish rods from 5 foot. You know, we make them up to 9 feet. In fact, I thought about putting a 9-foot ultralight in my arsenal. It's a 2-piecer that we make. It'd be just such a fun snare rod, and I may throw it in my arsenal next year. So if you guys that are into those longer, you know, whippy rods, you know, more of a snare type rod, those 8 and 9 foot 2-piecers are fantastic. I know we sold a ton of them at the sports shows last year. So you can, like I said, you can check all these rods out on the website. I have some inventory here at my house. Corey at Fishtails, I believe, is going to start carrying an inventory of razor rods. I'll keep you guys posted on my YouTube and all my social media accounts when that happens. And last but not least, 3-ways. Probably, you know, it's hard to say, you know, where a rod is more important. There's probably not a rod that gets worked out harder next to your shiver minnow rod than pulling 3-ways. And as you know, you guys have seen over the last couple of years since we started this YouTube channel, and all of you that have fished with me over the years, I love pulling 3-ways. Love it. You know, because this rod wasn't even a rod this was a rod that I had purchased before I even got on the Razor Rods Pro staff. That's how important I think that is. This is the 6-foot medium heavy MAXX bait caster. So a couple things. The reason I love 6 feet, and we tested it, when you're pulling flies off the back of the boat especially, the 6.6 is too long. And we tried it with different heights of people. Your tip, especially when you're pumping 3-ways with a, you know, sometimes up to a 3-ounce weight on it, it's cumbersome. So to have a super light rod where you don't have to jack your arm up to keep the rod tip out of the water, where you basically can hang your arm down and then just sit and work the rod. Having something, the medium heavy, you know, you got a little bit of softness in the tip, but not much. You want something stiff, something to where when you're pulling the plug, you know, the Rapalas, or pulling the flies, or pulling plastics, or whatever your 3-wing, night crawlers, spinners, whatever it is, having a nice light rod with a nice bait casting reel that just complements the rod is super important, because I don't know how many of you have gone out and pulled flies for 8, 9, 10 hours, or even 5 hours. You know, when you sit there and you do it for even a couple hours, especially when you have to use heavier weights, especially in the springtime, especially early springtime, depending on, you know, every year is different obviously, but most time you're using 2-ounce weights, if not more. There was a period this year we needed 3s. And it can be extremely cumbersome. So the last thing you want is some big heavy broomstick that you're sitting there trying to pump 3-ways with. So this 6-foot medium heavy MAXX bait caster is just, I love the rod. The 6-foot medium heavy classic I love. I've got that in my arsenal. The 6-foot medium heavy edge I've got in my arsenal. The 6-foot medium heavy platinum I've got in my arsenal. All fantastic rods. My baby is definitely the MAXX, no doubt about it. It's just a little bit lighter, a little more feel as the weight's bouncing across the bottom, less snags, and you're gonna feel a lot more bites. And that goes with all of these rods across the board. So anyway, like I said, I just wanted to go through all this stuff in a controlled environment for you guys, you know, where I'm not fighting wind and, you know, a bunch of noises and, you know, besides Goomba's collar rattling out there a little while ago. Check out Razor Rods, razorrods.com. My discount code will be in the description. You know, I'll list the rods that the 5 rods I went over here with today that I talked about specifically today. Keep an eye on my social media. I'll let you guys know when Fishtails gets an inventory. I have an inventory. Christmas is right around the corner, depending on when you're seeing this video. Today is like October 22nd, 3rd, 4th, somewhere in there. You know, we have gift cards available on Razor Rod's website, I believe, anyway. I'm pretty sure we do. I think we do. I know we have gift cards, so I'm assuming they're on the website. Probably should go look just to make sure. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, nothing exciting, no fish catching in this video. Just wanted to give you guys a good controlled environment to where you could hear me speak. You could, you know, kind of show you the rods. I don't know what kind of view, you know, I kind of set it up to where I think you saw the rods nice. Made in the USA, made in the USA, made in the USA. Everything on our rods is made in the USA, except the cork on our handles comes from Portugal. Other than that, everything is made in the USA. No China, no Mexico, no nothing. You know, I just can't say enough good things about the company. You know, where we plan on going over these next few years, our goals. And, you know, we have a tremendous pro staff, you know, Bill Kutka, Mike Mueller, Jeff Jessup, Scott Halke, myself. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. Bill Kutka, I think I said, did I say Bill Kutka? But we're all using Razor rods. We all love them. So get a hold of me. I'll put, you know, my number. You can message me through any of my social media platforms. razorrods.com. Discount code, Christmas is coming, all the sports shows are coming, and I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys supporting my sponsors like Razor Rods. You know, like I said in one of the videos not too long ago, without you guys, without my audience, without my clients, none of this happens. So it's all about you guys. I appreciate all of your feedback. Thank you for bearing with me on a lot of the rod questions over the last 3 to 5 months. I know, like I said, I specifically answered all of them, but wanted to kind of go through and just do a rod video. So Razor Rods, made in the USA, check them out online. Click that subscribe button, helps me out a ton. Click the like button. Anything else you want to see? You know, we're going to have some downtime with weather coming up here as they're waiting for ice. You know, I still have some guide trips coming up. The late season river bite, get a hold of me. Get a hold of me to get on the ice fishing calendar. Get a hold of me to get on the open water calendar for next year. And until next time on the water, tight lines.